by all means, it is the biggest ever. And the reason why is two things that they are incorporated in this. A is that, first of all, as far as my scholars and education is concerned, my background, I have a doctorate degree in hospitality management with specializations in HR and service quality. So this is one of the reasons that I, let's say, study more the HR, which is the most important thing in the service industry and not over. And my studies were incorporated into recruitment and selection, training and development, and communication process in the hospitality industry. Having said that, this is the most important thing that you're mentioning in your question. So 100% is what I investigated via my research 4.5 years between 2009 to 2014. So this is the first thing. The second thing is that we are working in a very fragile industry. And having said that, I will put it into two columns. The first column is the before COVID situation and between and in COVID situation and the after COVID situation. So going back to COVID situation, COVID time era, during those two struggling years, we faced a lot of problems in a sense of, first of all, it was staff without jobs, which means not only staff but also management, which means lack of morale, because people were losing their morale because they were out of job for quite a long time. And in that sense, if we go a step further, because having the lack of morale, we also have the lack of let's say, part-time in terms of training, development in one place and whatsoever. So being out of work for quite a long time, for 2 years, let's say, people were under stress because they were not into jobs, they were out of qualifications, they were out of training, and this isolation, let's say, at home, obviously provided hassle. So this is in the era of COVID-19. What happens after the era of COVID, which is today, let's say, last year and this year? This is where we have the biggest booming in terms of needs, and this is where we have the biggest, let's say, challenges nowadays, because having said that, today we need a lot of staff, because let's say work is back to normal in close to 100%, let's say, which means that people during the era of COVID, they had their lacks and they have to adopt all those lacks into today's situation. So this is the first thing. The second thing is that, where do I find stuff? Do I find easily stuff? Because I'm 100% back to normal today, and we have the concern of supply and demand. We have the biggest demand ever, and the supply is so limited. So what is the issue with this thing in the end of the day? The issue is that I need a lot of stuff, but I cannot find it. So what happens in the end of the day? You go fishing out of your hotel, and whatever comes up, you reserve it for. And in the end of the day, you don't go back to the traditional recruitment, selection, training, and development. And it means that if Harry needs a job and he's requesting for a job, there are so many agents around to give you this, to provide you this job with. So in the end of the day, if I need 10 people and I can only find 5, it means that these people that I find, if I'm lucky enough to find these 5 out of 10, it means that they're not so qualified, because I need more than what I can find. And also they take advantage of that in a sense of requesting higher salaries, remunerations, and in the end of the day, they request all of them accommodation, and they don't stay for a long time to you, because again, it's let's say the competition with jobs around. So if it's not you, somebody else. And the third, let's say, the challenge that we face is that they would rather stay back home rather than coming to your country, because everything is open now. All jobs are back to normal. So why coming to Cyprus and not staying in Portugal or in Greece or whatsoever? Because everybody needs that. So this cultivates more the problem with demand and supply. So in the end of the day, the challenge, yes, is very big. Okay, let's put it this way. What are the biggest concerns today? I need staff, I need qualified staff, I need it today, they need accommodation. And in order to have this strategic planning, which means in 3 to 5 years, to have these people with me, not being here to my hotel today and tomorrow in another country, let's say. This is another concern that we come up with. And another thing is that Cyprus is getting more and more seasonal, which increases the issue of staffing not being with you for a long time, which means that after the end of the season, like Napa, Protaras, and even Paphos in some extent, they just leave, go to their country, so they go to another country, but they can provide them even bigger salaries and a whole year around work. So I believe that the Eastern platform, it is an indirect solution to all these problems we face today, the problems I just mentioned before. And indeed, I support the idea of that, and why not to have it in the near future in practice. I believe that in a great extent this will benefit and work for the hotels. As I said before, because the biggest, let's say, cons that we face today is finding the right staff with the right qualifications, training and developing these people to our place. So I believe, and along with another big issue that we face, which is the accommodation. So I believe all these pillars are gathered under the platform of the Eastern, and I believe this we can accommodate and all these areas together for a better result. However, one big challenge that we face today is we are losing the, let's say, the classical traditional recruitment and selection process. Having said that, what I mean is that in the old days, when we say recruitment, it used to gather ideas like finding how can I find staff by trade unions, agencies, word of mouth between one and another. But now it's not the case 100%, because it's not just Eastern, but it's a trend nowadays that there are many agents around that they can find staff from abroad, because fortunately and unfortunately there's not so much load of staff from Cyprus. So obviously we have to bring staff from abroad. So all these agents are qualified, let's say, finding staff from abroad. So the classical traditional recruitment and selection is gone, because I cannot do a proper interview because it has to be virtual and online. So I cannot do what I know very well in the service industry, which is the body language and the eye contact from one to one, like we are today. So you're losing these, which is very important, because we're selling services. I need to know how they react on questions and how they reply. Whereas today, they just, you have to do it virtually, and provided that you find this stuff, then you cannot get in a great extent, let's say, references from previous employers and whatsoever, because they've been to the other country and to that country. So this is a big concern that we have to put into account. Of course, training is of a paramount importance, and I see that successfully it is in the Eastern platform. And another concern that we have today is the accommodation. Many hotels are facing this. So once this is sorted from the Eastern, obviously you have a throughout solution in one. So I believe this will work for the hotel industry in the near future, and I believe these are the trends of nowadays. So yes, I believe this is a good solution for the near future for the hospitality industry.